Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakah, Kodash, the barns, to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to those who elect. It's your brother Tazior, Ariel, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai. The water, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson, the Lord's will. It is edifying to the sheep and to the flock of Yahweh, while Yahushai, to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whose forefathers go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are indeed the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. And it's time for you to repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And this lesson is going to go into, being a Stoic or Stoicism, so to speak. Being a Stoic, becoming a Stoic, man. And I'll get the word real quick. Bear with me, Babako Shah. Um, this is the word Stoic. And Google says a person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. You know, more and more as time goes on, as we continue to fight the good fight of faith, man, we have to build, uh, um, our character, so to speak, of being stoic, man. I remember the elder apostle Gabar going into this word, and speaking upon it, and I was just thinking, you know, this is what we ought to be like, who is the great example of being a stoic for us, man? Yahweh Shai. And we strive to be like Yahweh Shai to the best of our ability. He is the perfect example for us. And, as we continue to endure, like the Lord said for us to do, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. We have to become more and more stoic, man. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, as the different things that we go through, with our families, with ourselves, we must become stoic, man, because we have to understand and we have to know that this is what the Lord said was going to happen with us, that we're going to go through these different things and that we're going to be tried at these different things, man. We have to keep our composure and we have to understand that, we're going through these things for a greater purpose. Ultimately, we're what being tried to see if we're true believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Ultimately, are we worthy to be heirs with Yahweh Shai? You know, auditioning for heirship. You know, so as these different things come upon us, as we, if it comes down to losing our families, if it come down to us being by ourselves, whatever the case may be, whatever the Lord has in store for us, we must, fear in the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We must fear in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We must continue to, do what's pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And also, have that trust, have that faith, to rely on, which is given to us, which is the gift, understanding that whatever it is, we just hope that our end be in righteousness in the eyes of the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that we may be, protected and be of the hopeful elect. We're going through all these different things because of our disobedience to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So you're going to, to you brothers and you few sisters out there, you're going to not be at, everything is not supposed to be good here, so to speak. Everything is temporary here. The happiness is temporary. The joy for moments is temporary. Everything is temporary here. And why is that? Because you have to remember that we were brought here for, uh, um, we were brought here for our disobedience, man. This place is not our rest, okay? This place is a punishment for us, man, okay? So you must remember that there's never going to be true peace here. There's never going to be true happiness here because ultimately that is what the kingdom is for. Okay, we have been brought here for what? Oppression, man. To understand that this is what happens to us when we disobey the voice of the Lord. This is what happens when we disobey the commandments, man. We become a reproach. We become like unto the heathen, man. Look at the state of our people, especially the men of our people, man. Look at the state that we're in. All due to the disobedience of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. All due to our disobedience to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Look at the state that we are in, man, in our nation as a whole. We have fallen very, very greatly, man. But the water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for the elect, that will be one with the Lord again very soon. But while we're going through the different trials and tribulations and the different things that we have to go through, that fire of adversity, we must become more stoic. And again, I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man. We must endure the pain. We must endure the hardship without showing the feelings and without complaining because it's not going to do nothing for you, ultimately. So I'm definitely, speaking to myself first and foremost, man, being more stoic, okay? Because at the end of the day, what does that also remind you of? Being hardened. The Lord is hardening us, you know? It's almost like becoming numb to everything, because again, this place is not our rest, man. So being aware, being sober, being vigilant, and ultimately just not letting a lot of things affect you how it would when you were in the world, you know. But without further ado, let's get some precepts, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient with our change to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." And that's what we're going through right now, man, the furnace of adversity. Again, the Lord is seeing who is the true believers, man, who's going to stand up against the evildoers for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's name's sake, And we have to be those ones. We have to be the ones that stand up. We are the ones that are sighing and crying for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. We are the ones pleading with the Lord and asking the Lord, when is he going to make us a praise in the earth again? When is he going to take down our enemies? When is he going to restore righteousness on the planet Earth, man? Because that's what we're yearning for. That's what we're calling out to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua for, man. For peace, for us to be one with the Lord again forever, man. Because this place is not our rest, you know. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek the one to come, man. All right, let's get Proverbs 25 and verse 28 says, "He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." There's no what does a wall represent, man? Security, protection, so to speak, man. And a man that doesn't rule over his own spirit, he's like it's like unto a man with no secureness, man. And we have to be secure in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is our refuge, man, our protection. So when we go through our daily life, we must remember to apply the scriptures to our lives daily, man. Yeah, some days are easier than others, man, but we must continuously, again, apply the scriptures to our daily lives, man. Okay. Let's get Proverbs 16 and verse 32. And it reads, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city." Okay. Again, that self-control, man. You know, that enduring, you know, like it said for the word stoic, enduring the pain without showing emotion, so to speak, without complaining about it, man. We just read in Ecclesiastes 2, he said, what? Take cheerfully the spoiling of your goods, man. And cleave unto him when thou art changed to a low estate. Yahweh Shem Yahushua ultimately wants us to do what? Call unto him, depend on him. See? And guess what? Only the elect are the ones that are going to do that, man, because only the elect understand that without Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we have no hope. We have no security. We have no refuge. Okay? We are nothing. Proverbs 17 and verse 27, it says, "He that have knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. He that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding." Not being quick to wrath, man. Whatever situation the Lord puts you in. And brothers and you sisters out there, you got to understand, like when you pray for patience, The Lord is going to put you into situations where it requires you to exercise patience. It's not just going, don't think that, you know, the Lord is just going to just put patience in you and you're just going to be the most patient person ever. No. The Lord is going to test that. The Lord is going to try you with a situation that requires you to be patient. And are you going to rely on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to give you that patience, man, and not relying on your own wisdom and understanding? Because the heart is deceivable above all things. Who could know it, man? You know? So we must continue to fight the good fight of faith, man, and become a stoic, man. You know, so with that, Lord's word is edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to those who elect. It's your brother Tazor Ariyah. Till next time, I want to say Shalom. Wa Abba.